Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show. Boom! With a loud bang, a huge body broke through the ceiling and fell in front of everyone. The originally wide exit, at this moment, was directly shrouded in this huge figure. After seeing the monster in front of him, all hearts could not help but sank slightly. I saw a huge insectoid like a centipede appearing in front of them. There are nearly 1,000 feet, each of which is like a spear, piercing deeply into the ground. At the position of its head, a pair of scarlet eyes stared at everyone. After seeing this huge Zerg, Lin Beihe's face suddenly turned pale. His face was ashen. Ruined. This Zerg directly blocked the channel. If they want to escape, they can't get around this guy at all. But this guy is obviously completely different from those Zerg soldiers. Whether in terms of size or breath, the breath it exudes is far better than those of the Zerg soldiers. Roar. The millipede let out a roar, and the roar, containing the sound wave, directly penetrated the entire passage. At this moment, the fear in everyone's heart could not help but be hooked out. Immediately, someone's legs went weak and he slumped on the ground. It's over. We have no way to escape. Those lunatics of the Dark Elves, how could they create such monsters? Damn it. My daughter is waiting for me to go back with a present. I didn't expect to die here in the end. Everyone fell into deep despair. The millipedes began to approach them, as if each movement of the long legs of a spear would leave a deep mark on the metal ground. The tough shell moved through the narrow passage, rubbing against the metal, creating a series of sparks, but at this moment, a voice came from the helmet of the iron driver. Don't worry, everyone, when you get here, you will succeed. This voice was made by Su Yan, who was seated in the Hyperion. Everyone couldn't help but look at the iron pilot. And the iron pilot also replied, the captain has already arranged support. Now, support should be coming soon. As soon as the words fell, everyone could not help but look at the millipede in front of him. The huge body of the millipede seemed to be lifted by something. In an instant, an extremely huge psychic power burst out. Lin Beihe's eyes widened. He had seen psionicists and felt the breath of psionic energy. However, he has never felt such a huge psionic energy. This psychic power seems to let him see the sea with turbulent waves, a violent and turbulent power. What a powerful spiritual power, such a strong person would actually appear in the outer sea. Rumbling. The millipedes seemed to feel life-threatening, and thousands of long legs penetrated deeply into the surrounding channel structure. But in the next second, the iron sheet of the entire passage was lifted up. Roar. The millipede let out a roar, but this roar was filled with fear. In the desert, Bying opened her hands, and violent psionic power burst out from her body. Unforgivable. Zerg must be annihilated. Su Yan, who was sitting on the Hyperion, couldn't help but sigh when he saw that Bying had dragged the millipede out using his psychic energy. Psychers are really scary. Powerful psionicists, their strength is even more terrifying. I saw Bying open his hands, and the violent psionic energy acted on the millipede. Such a behemoth, under the control of her psionic power, is as fragile as a toy. At this time, Lin Beihe had just came out. Next, he saw a scene that he will never forget. Under the action of terrifying spiritual energy, the millipede was directly twisted into a twist, and countless blood fell into the yellow sand like a torrential rain. This time, it scared everyone. What happened in front of me was a horror movie. At this time, Bying looked at the same crew members. Please also board the ship quickly, our captain has been waiting for a long time. The voice without the slightest emotion fell in the ears of the many crew members like a murmur of death. Everyone dare not be slighted. At this time, the huge Hyperion also fell to the ground. Su Yan walked out of the Hyperion, and Lin Beihe couldn't help being surprised when he saw Su Yan. So young? Or a human? He did not expect to have such powerful soldiers as the Predator and the Iron Pilot, and a powerful psionicist as a crew. Such a captain, at least he is also a prominent figure in the local Shanghai. But they didn't expect that the captain in their mouths was so young. Before Lin Beihe could react, a sharp and harsh scream came from behind. A large number of Zerg soldiers poured out from the pyramid. There are still so many Zerg soldiers? Seeing this scene, Lin Beihe couldn't help but turn pale. How many such monsters did the Dark Elves create? Captain Su Yan, let's get on the ship. These Zerg soldiers are numerous and extremely difficult to deal with. Although your psionicists are powerful, in the face of such a large number of Zerg soldiers, it is difficult for even psionicists to clear these Zerg soldiers. Before Lin Beihe could finish speaking, Su Yan patted him on the shoulder. Don't worry, leave it to me next. I saw Su Yan raised his hand, and there was a roar in the sky. In the next second, 100 Viking fighters dropped from the sky and changed to ground mode. 200 Gatling guns aimed at the Zerg in front of him. Su Yan waved his hand, fire. Da-da-da. 200 Gatling guns began to unleash endless rage. Countless bullets attacked those Zerg soldiers like a torrential rain. After seeing such terrifying firepower, Lin Beihe's eyes widened. What is fire suppression? This is fire suppression. In the midst of the artillery fire, the Zerg soldiers were directly strangled into flesh by endless bullets as soon as they entered the range. Su Yan said to Lin Beihe, it's time to board the ship. Everyone has not yet recovered from such a violent fire. When Su Yan spoke, they also reacted. After everyone boarded the ship, the Hyperion also took off into the air. Sitting in the middle of the bridge, Su Yan looked at the many Viking fighters on the ground, venting endless artillery fire. All Vikings evacuated from the battlefield. Viking fighter, received. In the next second, the Viking fighters turned into flying states, as if the Transformers had left the battlefield and returned to the Hyperion. Immediately afterwards, Su Yan opened the control panel of the Hyperion. Start the orbital bombardment. Under the operation of Su Yan, the Hyperion began to lift off slowly. At this time, Lin Beihe and other crew members were sitting on the ground. Several crew members were also talking about Su Yan's ship, which was slightly larger than their flagship. But the layout and decoration inside the ship made them a little surprised. There are entertainment facilities on this ship? F***CK, bar? This is too much to enjoy life. Shoo, be quiet, this is not the interior of the Qingyue. Lin Beihe was also standing in the corridor, looking at the slowly rising scenery outside the window, and was full of emotion. He thought he was going to die, but he didn't expect to survive. It's really unpredictable. Big brother. At this moment, a familiar voice entered Lin Beihe's ears. After Lin Beihe heard the voice, he was stunned for a moment. Moon? What happened? Did he miss her so much that he had hallucinations? But at this moment, Lin Beihe saw a familiar figure out of the corner of his eyes. When he turned around, he saw Lin Qingyue rushing into his arms like a milk swallow returning to her nest. Yue? Why are you here? Lin Beihe felt like he was dreaming. How could he actually meet his sister Lin Qingyue here? Shouldn't she be on the moon of the solar system now? For a time, Lin Beihe felt an unrealistic dreaminess, and Lin Qingyue also rubbed the tears from her eyes, and then said with a smug look, I'm a crew member of the Hyperion. It turns out the ship is called the Hyperion. Wait, that's not the problem. Didn't I ask that kid Lin Qinghe to arrange for you to go to the moon fleet? Damn it. Lin Qinghe didn't take what I said to heart. How dangerous is interstellar travel, doesn't that kid know? The crew next to him also shook their heads when they saw their captain like this. The captain himself is fine everywhere, but when he mentions his sister, he will turn into a nagging mother. At this time, Lin Qingyue also said stubbornly, don't talk about second brother, I sneaked out by myself. Sneak out? What if you are in danger? Do you know how dangerous interstellar travel is? Lin Beihe also looked anxious. What he feared most was that sooner or later his sister would encounter the same situation as himself. At this time, Su Yan's figure sounded from the side. Lord Lin Beihe, you don't have to worry. As my crew member, Lin Qingyue has provided me with a lot of help during the interstellar voyage. Also, you have seen my strength. She will not suffer any grievances on my ship. Seeing Su Yan coming, Lin Qingyue also habitually hid behind Su Yan. When he saw Lin Qingyue hiding behind Su Yan, Lin Beihe felt that the jade carving cabbage that he had raised for many years had been taken away. But after taking a look at Lin Qingyue's firm eyes, and Su Yan's powerful strength, Lin Beihe also sighed. From the strength Su Yan has shown so far, Lin Qingyue may be safe to stay with him. After all, his fleet was severely damaged, and he would not be able to return to the territory for a while. It would be better to let Lin Qingyue stay with Su Yan first. Thinking of this, Lin Beihe also felt helpless. Since that's the case, Big Brother doesn't stop you. You are indeed more promising than in the Moon Fleet. After seeing Su Yan's powerful strength, Lin Beihe also understood. With Su Yan's current potential, sooner or later, he will become a legend in the Sea of Stars. And after his sister becomes his crew member, he may also become famous in the future. Ding, do you accept Lin Qingyue as your crew member? Su Yan didn't expect that the system prompt popped up at this time. Agree. Name Lin Qingyue. Race, human. Psionic value 100/100. Strength 10. Physique 10. Mental power 20. Talent. Wealth is more money. When you spend a certain amount of money, there is a certain chance to increase the fortune of the people around you. The more you spend, the higher the chance of increasing your fortune. Knowledge scholar, I never forget reading books. It has an extremely powerful knowledge reserve, just like a humanoid database. Loyalty, 100, love. When Su Yan saw the last bit of loyalty, she couldn't help but be stunned. Bai Ying's loyalty 100 shows Dai loyalty, but Lin Qingyue's loyalty 100 shows admiration. Seeing this, Su Yan also looked at Lin Qingyue behind him. And Lin Qingyue smiled naively, as if she was glad that she could finally become Su Yan's official crew. Just when Su Yan was about to ask Lin Qingyue, Lin Beihe next to him spoke directly. Captain Su Yan, can I ask you one thing next? Seeing Lin Beihe's serious face, Su Yan also nodded. You said, as long as I can help you, I will try my best. If this is the case, these dark elves can create so many Zerg soldiers, there must be a Zerg mother nest under this pyramid. So, I thought, can you go to the solar system and notify the members of the Sun Alliance there? Once the Zerg disaster makes a comeback, it will sweep the entire Star Sea, and the Sun Alliance must be notified to send a fleet to destroy this laboratory. After hearing this, Su Yan raised his hand. You don't have to worry about this, I have already started. Hearing this sentence, Lin Beihe was stunned for a moment. Immediately afterwards, a bright light rose outside the window. It was followed by a roar, and everyone heard the sound and couldn't help but look outside through the window. Next, they saw a large number of fusion warheads falling. Boom! A fusion warhead exploded, and the entire pyramid laboratory was instantly swallowed by flames. The next second, another fusion warhead fell. Rumbling. Above the earth, mushroom clouds rose one after another. The violent flame devoured the pyramid laboratory directly, and the original appearance could hardly be seen. Lin Beihe's eyes widened. Nuclear weapons? F***CK? What kind of ship is actually loaded with nuclear weapons? Lin Beihe never imagined that Su Yan would destroy this laboratory in this way. Su Yan handed Lin Beihe a glass of wine, and said lightly, under such bombardment, it must be difficult for the Zerg mother nest to survive. Seeing the mushroom cloud rising continuously outside the window, Lin Beihe was also stunned. This young man in front of him is really scary. My own understanding of him is still too shallow. Rumbling. After several rounds of bombing, let alone the pyramid laboratory, a huge crater appeared on the surface of the entire planet. Su Yan looked down through the Hyperion's window. The wind was blowing, and in the place where the pyramid laboratory was originally, only a huge pothole was seen. In the pothole, the traces of the former pyramid laboratory can be vaguely seen. Seeing this, Su Yan also directed the descent of the Hyperion. After coming to the ground, Su Yan asked Bai Ying to follow him, and brought several predators with him at the same time. For nothing else, Su Yan knew very well that the Zerg's survivability was far beyond ordinary people's imagination. Although several rounds of bombing have passed, ordinary creatures are no matter how powerful they are. Under nuclear bombing, it should also be turned to ashes. But Su Yan is very clear that if the Zerg is not completely eliminated, after a while, these monsters will be like weeds, and the spring breeze will regenerate. In order to detect that the Zerg had been completely eliminated, Su Yan naturally brought White Warbler along, not to mention that Bai Ying's powerful psionic energy can always protect himself. Bai Ying's hatred for the Zerg is inscribed in his blood. If there are any Zerg residues, she will find it at the first time. At this time, Su Yan and Bai Ying also came to the bottom of the pit. When he came to the bottom of the pit, he couldn't help but narrow his eyes. In the yellow sand at the bottom of the pit, a broken part of the cultivation cabin was exposed. And in the lower half of the inhabitants' training cabin, a basketball-sized Zerg brood is in it, beating like a heart. Really, the Zerg's vitality made Su Yan feel a throbbing. If you didn't come down to check it, this Zerg mother nest might continue to devour flesh and blood in the future, and eventually grow back. By that time, the entire Moke planet will be turned into a breeding ground for the Zerg. This Zerg mother nest is only a first-level mother nest, and I can't feel the existence of the Zerg will in it. It seems that this thing is just a clone of the Zerg mother nest, cloned by the Dark Elves. But even if it is a replica, it has the tough vitality of the Zerg mother nest and the ability to combine other creatures with Zerg genes. For the Zerg, no one knows these monsters better than the White Warbler. After listening to Bai Ying's explanation, Su Yan also understood. It turns out that this Zerg brood is just the lowest level or a replica. But this also made Su Yan ponder, if the high-level Zerg brood also had Zerg will, what a terrifying scene would it be? With just one clone, the Dark Elves can create Zerg soldiers with alloy shells, as well as millipedes as large as chariots. If the real Zerg invaded, it would definitely be more terrifying than the current clones. Thinking of this, Su Yan also raised the laser gun in his hand. Boom! With a gunshot, the originally dying Zerg brood stopped beating directly. Immediately afterwards, the Zerg mother nest in the original state of flesh and blood began to wither rapidly as if it had lost its energy. In the end, the Zerg brood turned into ashes and fell to the ground. Ding! A special check-in location was detected, Zerg mother nest laboratory. Whether to check in, once refused, the special location will disappear completely. Special check-in location? This is the first time Su Yan has encountered such a situation. Sign in. Ding, the sign-in is successful. Congratulations on your successful acquisition of 1,000 mechanical teaching troops, recycled steel scientific research drawings. Good guy. When Su Yan saw the sign-in reward, Pingbo's heart was filled with ripples. The rewards given by this special check-in location are so rich. Let's not talk about the 1,000 mechanical teaching and teaching army. This recycled steel scientific research blueprint is a good thing. Once the research on recycled steel is successful, your ship can automatically recover after leaving the battle. This saves you the hassle of having to do repairs after every battle. Coincidentally, when I signed in, I got 100 mechanical priests. There is definitely no problem in letting these mechanical priests study recycled steel. 1,000 mechanic teachings are already waiting to be awakened in the arsenal of the Hyperion. Recycled steel scientific research drawings have been added to the laboratory project, and research can be carried out at any time. By convention, these systems are naturally all arranged properly. After Su Yan and Bai Ying made sure that there was no Zerg left around, they also returned to the Hyperion. In the Hyperion, Lin Beiha also respected Su Yan when he saw Su Yan's return. Su Yan's achievements in annihilating the Zerg alone are enough to gain a certain position in the Sun Alliance. Even in other galaxies, all alien races will praise Su Yan if they know of Su Yan's deeds in destroying the Zerg lair. The entire Xinghai will not express resistance to a warrior who has the courage to fight against the Zerg. Later, at the request of Lin Beihe, Su Yan also sent him and the other crew members to the place where their ship was, although their ships were severely damaged after being attacked. But after Su Yan gave them some energy ore, the ships were enough to carry them to Vulcan for repairs. And Su Yan was also depressed after sending out some energy ores. His own energy ore was relatively abundant, but after this tossing, it began to become stretched again. Captain Su Yan, you are going to the Storm Galaxy next. Lin Beihe also learned from Lin Qingyun that Su Yan was going to the Golden Galaxy. Su Yan plans to accumulate his capital in the Golden Galaxy before heading to the Inner Sea. In the Inner Sea, even a planet lord would be bombarded in minutes. Su Yan's current equipment is still too much to go to the Inner Sea, and it is better to transition in the Golden Galaxy. That's right, I plan to go to the Storm Galaxy for the next galaxy, and then continue to the Gold Galaxy. After hearing Su Yan's answer, Lin Beihe also spoke. I suggest you take a detour. Recently, a lot of interstellar pirate fleets have gathered in the Storm Galaxy. Those interstellar pirates are lunatics. After seeing your ship, they will definitely besiege you like a shark smelling blood. It was there that our fleet met, and the siege of the pirate fleet was severely damaged. After hearing this sentence, Su Yan couldn't help but light up. Interstellar pirate fleet? I am worrying about where to get some resources. Isn't this energy delivered to my door? Thinking of this, Su Yan also showed a smile. I see, it's nothing to do, let's go first. After all, Su Yan was also the engine that started the Hyperion. Watching the figure of the Hyperion slowly disappear into the sky, Lin Beihe also turned to look at their crew. It's time for us to set off again. The situation here must be reported to the Sun Alliance. In any case, the actions of the Dark Elves will be punished by the entire Xinghai. With that said, Lin Beihe also walked towards the Qingyue. Mako is definitely not the first laboratory set up by the Dark Elves, but it will definitely not be the last. Dark Elves are playing with fire, Dark Night Galaxy, Eternal Night Star, Dark Elf Mother Star. The Dark Elf General, at this time, also received the news that the Mokexing laboratory was destroyed. The news reached his ears, and he couldn't help but burn with anger. Trash. A bunch of trash. Let you go and recapture the holy relic, but your entire army will be destroyed. Let you honestly study Zerg on a planet where birds don't shit, and you screwed up again. What else can you do? What makes the Dark Elf General most angry is that once the matter of Mo-Kexing is stabbed out, by that time, the entire Xinghai will know that their Dark Elves are studying the Zerg. Once this news is exposed, the entire Dark Elves will definitely become the public enemy of Xinghai. The Dark Elf General paced back and forth in his office. Now the news may have reached the ears of other Star Sea Alliance. On the Dark Elf side, the only thing that can be prayed for is that this matter can be spread later. Their research on the Zerg is still a long way off. Thinking of this, the Dark Elf General couldn't help but feel resentful. If they had retrieved the holy relic, they would have been able to master the Zerg now. This race that once made the entire Xinghai fall into fear, if they can control it in the hands of their Dark Elves, they will become the most powerful race in the entire Xinghai. They need time, the entire Dark Elves need time. At this time, a cold light flashed in the eyes of the Dark Elf General. Pass my order, and find a primitive planet to put those first-level Zerg Mother Nest clones on. That's right, this is the only way the Dark Elf General can think of right now. Let these Zerg brood clones breed on planets without the power of technology. Before the will of the Zerg came, the Zerg produced by these Zerg Mother Hive clones only had the most primitive killing impulse. Drop the Zerg brood and cause chaos on the planet. In this case, it will definitely cause chaos, and those Star Sea Alliance will definitely be exhausted. And at this time, the Dark Elves have a lot of time, just do it. As for the consequences of doing so, the Dark Elves didn't care. Sacrificing some humble and dirty alien races to make the Dark Elves prosper and powerful is simply a very good deal. With the order of the Dark Elf General, the ships loaded with the Zerg lair also began to spread out from the home planet. On the other side, near the storm galaxy Blackstone, the Hyperion, in coordination with the White Knight, appeared here directly after breaking away from the space transition. After seeing the coordinates of the galaxy, Lin Qingyue was also stunned for a moment. Didn't we say we're going around the storm galaxy? This galaxy is a gathering place for interstellar pirates. After listening to Sylvia Lin's words, Su Yan also showed a wicked smile. You're not in the wrong place. What we're going to come to is the storm galaxy. Robbery. Robbery? Robber who? Lin Qingyue looked confused, while Su Yan pointed to an interstellar pirate ship not far away. Of course, those interstellar pirates. Hiss. As soon as these words came out, Lin Qingyue couldn't help but take a deep breath. She had only heard of the fleet being robbed by interstellar pirates, and she had never heard of anyone who dared to rob interstellar pirates. The interstellar pirates on the opposite side also noticed Su Yan's ship. An S-class ship with only cargo ships escorting? At this moment, the interstellar pirate opposite even thought he was dazzled. Which of the S-class ships they encountered didn't have an astonishing escort system? But now, what they encountered was indeed an unprotected S-class ship. F*CK, am I blinded? I saw an S-class ship without a frigate? Boss, you read that right, it is indeed an S-class fleet without frigates. It must be that I have returned with a full load every time recently. In order to reward me, the god of pirates hereby sends this S-class ship to me. Ha ha ha, boss, let's grab this S-class ship and go to the inner sea for development. Before he finished speaking, the S-class ship disappeared directly in place. Before the interstellar pirates could react, the Hyperion used space jump to come to their side. The laser array is on. For a time, a large number of air lasers began to attack the ships next to them. Those interstellar pirates simply didn't have time to react. They never imagined a ship that didn't even have a frigate to be able to space jump to their faces, and then start the fight directly. It was as if a group of thugs were walking down the street and saw a strong man wearing a big gold chain. When you were about to do it, that strong man flashed directly on your face to perform Crazy Oiler. These interstellar pirates were directly fooled by Su Yan. But this is far from Su Yan's means. Su Yan drives the Hyperion infinitely close to the other's flagship. On the deck of the Hyperion, several pilots driving the Titans were ready to go. As the two ships approached, the Titan mech jumped up. Boom! 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 Along with it, a series of dull noises sounded above the head of the interstellar pirate. The next second, an alloy blade directly pierced the ship's armor. Before the interstellar pirates could react, the ship had been opened with a big hole, and the pilots also successfully jumped to the flagship of the interstellar pirates with the help of Titan. After seeing Su Yan's operation, Lin Qingyue couldn't close her mouth in surprise. Are you trying to rob their ship? Yes, whether it is the ships or resources of the interstellar pirates, or even their people, I want them all. To deal with these interstellar pirates, Su Yan has no intention of showing mercy. Low-level ships, under the bombardment of the Hyperion, were directly turned into a pile of scrap iron. As for those high-level ships, Su Yan directly used the space jump to send the Predator and the Iron Pilot to the enemy ship for a gain jump. For a time, this interstellar pirate ship fell into chaos, the roar of artillery fire, the sound of ships crashing. Against the backdrop of this vast starry sky, Su Yan plundered an entire pirate fleet with just one Hyperion. The pirates on the ship hadn't reacted yet, and when they came back to their senses, they had already been imprisoned in the prison they had built for their captives. Many prisoners in the original prison were released by Su Yan. We are robbed? Didn't expect that their interstellar pirates would be robbed one day? Even the prisoners on the pirate ships were stunned. They were originally in prison, and they had already thought about how to think about when their family asked for a ransom. As a result, a group of iron pilots suddenly rushed in and knocked out all the interstellar pirates. 1 C-class flagship and 5 F-class ships. Tisk, these pirates seem to have just finished their robbery, and there are still a lot of supplies and prisoners on board. Qingyue, go and move the supplies on board to our Hyperion. As for the prisoners, give them an escape spaceship and let them escape by themselves. After hearing these words, Lin Qingyue blinked and looked at the looted interstellar pirate ships. This is the first time he has seen that someone dares to rob the ship of the interstellar pirate. However, after going through so many things along the way with Su Yan, this man is always able to do something unexpected. When Lin Qingyue thought of this, she also pretended to be serious and said, "Received, Captain." After all, Lin Qingyue also brought a few predator to carry supplies. Seeing Lin Qingyue's serious expression, Su Yan couldn't help laughing. This girl is really a little cute, and she didn't waste her time to keep her on her ship. Afterwards, Su Yan commanded the pilots to drive the ships and dock the ships of these plundered interstellar pirates to the nearest Blackrock star. The entire battle took only an hour, and Su Yan took down the interstellar pirate force with 1 C-class flagship and 5 F-class ships. The Hyperion also landed on Blackstone, and Su Yan received a notification from the system the moment he set foot on Blackstone. Check-in location detected, Blackstone Star. Do you sign in? Sign in. Ding, congratulations on your successful acquisition, 10 B-class Valkyrie heavy fire ships. Good guy, the system is quite generous this time, and actually allocated 10 fire frigates to himself. Valkyrie heavy fire ship, this ship has extremely terrifying firepower and armor. The only fly in the ointment is its speed, which is very weak, because of the thick armor. Although it is rated as a B-class ship, its firepower is enough to make many A-class ships frightened. The Valkyrie heavy firepower ship is comparable to the flat-headed brother among the ships. Once you are targeted by it, it will be either your death or my death. Su Yan also asked the system where the ship was. 10 Valkyrie heavy fire ships have been arranged somewhere in Blackstone and can be called to support at any time. Somewhere on Blackrock? Su Yan touched his chin, not intending to summon these Valkyries now. When they are not used yet, when the right time comes, these Valkyrie fireboats will exert their greatest use. After signing in, Su Yan also came to the ship of the interstellar pirates and came to their prison. At this moment, all the interstellar pirates gathered in the prison, and their hearts were also uneasy. When did the Storm Galaxy come to such a bad thing? You ask me, who do I ask? Boss, what will we do next? In my case, I would arrest people and ask their families for ransom. But the point is, if Temo and the others have relatives, what are they doing as interstellar pirates? Those who do interstellar pirates are all fatherless orphans. Otherwise, why would they do such a cruel thing? Just then, the prison door was opened. A young man walked in, but the man looked at them as if he were looking at pigs waiting to be slaughtered. Feeling Su Yan's gaze, several grumpy interstellar pirates were also angry. Look at what? Kill it or cut it as you please, lousy will die. Hearing this sentence, Su Yan frowned slightly. Afterwards, Su Yan showed a smile on the corner of his mouth and clapped his hands. Very good, with backbone. Come here, drag the most fierce ones to the laboratory to make transformation materials for the mechanical priests. At this time, there was a sullen laughter from Su Yan's back. Lord Captain, don't bother you to do it yourself, I have already come in person. Hearing this voice, I saw a semi-mechanized mechanical priest walking in. Behind him, several mechanical prosthetics hovered behind him like tentacles. Seeing the mechanical priest like this, a few cowardly interstellar pirates were immediately scared to pee. Is this thing that looks like a ghost or a ghost, is it a creature or a machine? But before they could reflect, the mechanical priest opened the prison door and directly grabbed a few interstellar pirates who had just made a rude speech using mechanical prostheses. The flesh and blood are weak, the machinery is soaring, join me in the glorious evolution. The mechanical priest let out a grin, as if he was excited to get a brand new guinea pig. A few interstellar pirates suddenly sweated on their backs, and then began to struggle frantically. Don't let me down. They would rather die than be transformed into a monster. But now, they have no choice. The mechanical prosthesis of the mechanical priest suddenly ejected a needle, and the anesthetic was injected directly into the bodies of the interstellar pirates. The interstellar pirate who was still alive and kicking just now was paralyzed in the next second, like a rag doll being held in the palm of his hand by a mechanical prosthesis. After other interstellar pirates saw this scene, they were even more frightened. Just by seeing the semi-mechanical body of the mechanical priest, they can imagine what kind of inhuman treatment these interstellar pirates will suffer next. And Su Yan saw that fear had filled their faces, and also spoke. I need information, a lot of information. If you can provide me with valuable information, maybe I will let you go. A person who has no value has only one fate. My research projects require a lot of guinea pigs. Hearing this sentence, the mechanical priest also rubbed his hands excitedly. If you can transform all these people, your experiment may be a step closer. If you're enjoying my content, please consider donating a coffee. Or checking out my shirts on TeePublic. After hearing Su Yan's words, those interstellar pirates were like drowning people grabbing a life-saving straw. All the interstellar pirates crowded at the door of the cell, frantically pouring out the information they knew. And Su Yan also listened patiently, and obtained important information that he knew from a lot of information. The first is the division of forces in the Storm Galaxy. The Storm Galaxy is a huge galaxy. There are 3 stars in the Storm Galaxy, and in the orbits of the 3 stars, there are 8 planets. One of the largest planets is called Giant Star. Giant Star is 10 times the size of Blue Star, and it is also a planet with a more suitable climate. Therefore, the interstellar pirates now entrenched on the Giant Star are the most powerful pirate fleets in the Storm Galaxy. There are currently 3 fleets entrenched on the Giant Star. Huangquan Pirates, fleet size, 1 A-class flagship, 2 B-class ships, and 20 E-class firepower ships. The Pirate Group, fleet size, 1 A-class flagship, 5 B-class ships, and 10 E-class firepower ships. Mad Shark Pirates, fleet size, 1 S-class flagship, 10 A-class firepower fleets, and 50 C-class firepower fleets. I have to say that Storm Galaxy is now a crouching tiger, hidden dragon. The Huangquan Pirates Group and the Evil Thieves Pirates Group, these 2 interstellar pirate groups are among the most powerful pirate groups in the outer seas. Moreover, they also have their own planetary territory. Being able to have their own planetary territory, and they have not been destroyed by the Alliance so far, is enough to show their strength. However, when Su Yan saw the size of the fleet of the last Crazy Shark Pirates, he almost spat out a mouthful of old blood. Crazy Shark Pirates? Isn't this the Crazy Shark Pirates known as the 10 Kings of the Inner Sea? How did the interstellar pirates in the Inner Sea come to the Outer Sea? Moreover, if Su Yan guessed correctly, this S-class ship should be the flagship of the Shark Pirates' Raging Waves. It is rumored that this furious sea and raging tide is an extremely strange ship, with life. As for whether the rumor is true or not, Su Yan can't verify it either. After all, in the Inner Sea, the common sense of the Outer Sea cannot be applied at all. Now, what Su Yan is worried about is whether his actions will attract the attention of the Crazy Shark Pirates. How many chances do you have to escape if you face the Shark Pirates? The Hyperion has the powerful function of space transition. If it escapes, it should not be a problem. Su Yan groped his chin, and the Heavenly King level forces in the Inner Sea came to the Outer Sea, which was definitely not normal. Did Storm Galaxy have something they wanted? At this time, Su Yan didn't know that his actions had already reached the ears of the Crazy Shark Pirates. On the Giant Star, a ship is moored in a huge lake at the moment. Other ships are berthed on land, but the furious sea and raging waves is different. It can be moored on the water without sinking. Moreover, when in the water, the furious sea and raging waves can absorb water and automatically decompose it into hydrogen, and then synthesize energy by itself. It is such a magical ship, but at this moment it is moored in the lake of Giant Star. In the bridge, several pirate crew members scratched their heads. First mate, boss, will it be dangerous for her to go out alone? Dangerous? Who do you mean? The enemy? Don't worry, although the captain is a bit weird, she won't do anything like bullying the garbage off the sea. The crew next to him was stunned for a moment. What he wanted to say was whether their captain would be in danger. But on second thought, their captain is a psionicist with 10,000 terrifying psionics. In the outer seas, it is rare for a psionicist to appear. A psionicist with 10,000 psionic energy points is still a superhuman existence in the eyes of mortals. The first mate of the furious sea and furious tide also raised Erlang's legs and said casually, "Our task now is to recharge our batteries and prepare for the next battle. But I heard that there has been a hard stubble in the Storm Galaxy recently. Those guys from the Huangquan Pirates are going to touch them. If the newcomer wins the Huangquan Pirates, we might be able to include him in our Crazy Shark Pirates." In the outer space of Blackstone Star, a giant battleship made of brass alloy escaped the state of sublight flight. Immediately afterwards, several ships appeared around him. And this giant warship is the flagship of the Huangquan Pirates. Huangquan was converted from a warship, and its warship was equipped with a giant plasma cannon. This artillery was also used as a hell send-off artillery by the Huangquan Pirates. Once the plasma cannon is activated, all fleets will be horrified when they see it. Among the flagships of the Huangquan, a skeleton with blue flames was sitting in the center of the bridge and strategizing. And this blue flame skeleton is the captain of the Huangquan Pirates. According to rumors, he was originally an alien race with flesh. But after going through a warp voyage, he turned into this ghost. However, the captain of the Huangquan is proud of this, because although he lost his physical body, he became a psionicist. His psionic energy is the fire of the yellow springs that can ignite the soul, and because of this, he is called the Yellow Spring Death God by the world. The skeleton man, the captain of the Yellow Spring, looked at the black stone star in front of him, and the fire of the soul in his eyes swayed for a while. "I heard that this new guy has an S-class ship. Only this S-class ship can rob a pirate fleet. It seems that the captain of this ship is also interesting. However, starting from today, this S-class ship will become the latest flagship of my lord." After all, the skeleton man waved his hand, and his crew immediately understood. The entire fleet rushed into the atmosphere of Blackrock Star mightily. And Su Yan, who was repairing on the ground, also saw the Huangquan Pirates fleet that was slowly descending in the atmosphere for the first time. Su Yan picked up a high-powered telescope, and through the telescope he could see the signs on the ship clearly. Huangquan Pirates? It came quite fast. Su Yan had long anticipated that his flamboyant actions would definitely attract the attention of the large pirate groups on Titan. Unexpectedly, the first to follow was the Huangquan Pirates. Su Yan put down the high-powered telescope in his hand, and a confident smile appeared on his face. "As long as it wasn't the Crazy Shark Pirates, I had the confidence to eat it. What's more, on the Black Stone Star, he has already set up a net of heaven and earth. It's time to close the net." Just when Su Yan was about to enter the Hyperion to prepare for the battle, Lin Qingyue hurried over. "Su Yan. No good. I caught a strange thing. Weird stuff?" Su Yan looked at Lin Qingyue a little strangely. I saw Lin Qingyue put down the fishing rod in his hand, and then put down the water tank behind him. After putting down the water tank, there was a small blue fish swimming in it. What's so special about a fish? But next, Lin Qingyue showed Su Yan a wave. I saw that she took out a juice cocktail and poured the juice cocktail into the water tank. The little fish, who was still lazy at first, instantly became excited. I saw that it absorbed all the drinks with lightning speed, and then patted the belly very humanely. Su Yan was stunned when she saw this scene. This little fish is indeed a bit strange. Could it be a brand new intelligent life born on the Black Rock Star? At this time, Lin Qingyue was also like a child who got a new toy. "Can we keep it on the boat?" Lin Qingyue stared at Su Yan with big watery eyes. And Su Yan also scratched his head. "As you like, hurry up and get on the boat." Now that the Huangquan pirate fleet is attacking, Su Yan has no time to convince Lin Qingyue. It's just a wise little fish, and it's okay to throw it on a boat. At that time, even if it becomes an alien. The predators and pilots on board are also not vegetarians. Thinking of this, Su Yan also asked Lin Qingyue to board the Hyperion with this strange little fish. After entering the Hyperion, Su Yan also entered the bridge decisively. Pulling out the operation interface, Su Yan began to operate the Hyperion to lift off. With the roar of an engine, the Hyperion slowly lifted into the air. At this time, the Huangquan in the atmosphere obviously found the trace of the Hyperion. After all, with such a huge body of the Hyperion, it is difficult even if you don't want to notice it. "Boss, we saw that ship." Hearing this sentence, the fire of the soul in the eyes of the skeleton man also swayed. Later, the skeleton man also said, "Initiate a video communication. If this guy is willing to surrender, I can bring him under my command." There is only one ship on the opposite side, and they have as many as 20 firepower ships alone. The artillery fire alone is enough to blast it into slag. As long as the opponent knows a little bit about the situation, they will not be stubbornly resisting. Thinking of this, the skeleton man also instructed his subordinates to send a video communication to Su Yan's Hyperion. "Ding, Huangquan is sending a video communication signal. Do you receive it?" Su Yan also smiled faintly when he saw this newsletter application pop up. Connect. After the application was approved, the projected image of the skeleton man also appeared in Su Yan's communication interface, and the image of Su Yan also appeared on the side of the skeleton man. When the two sides saw each other, they couldn't help but be slightly taken aback. Su Yan didn't expect that the captain of the Huangquan pirate fleet was actually a skull. And the skeleton man on the opposite side did not expect that the other side was actually a human being, and he was so young. "Boy, your ship is very good. Our Huangquan pirates have taken a fancy to your ship. If you are willing to surrender now, I can arrange you into my pirate group. Of course, if you refuse, the 20 fire ships of my fleet will immediately target you. Choose one, life or death." The skeleton man opposite was very arrogant, as if he had already settled on Su Yan. "What if it's an S-class ship? How long can it last under the repeated bombardment of 20 fire ships?" And Su Yan looked at the skeleton man in front of him and laughed lightly. "Are you so sure you can eat me?" The skeleton man on the opposite side sneered, and the fire of the soul in his eyes flickered. "Congratulations, you lost a chance to survive. Congratulations too, you just lost your best chance to attack me. Valkyrie, attack." Whoosh! 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 With the roar of an engine, the Valkyrie heavy fire ship rose into the air. They have long been hidden in the hills under the pirate fleet, which allows them to cut into the battlefield as soon as possible. And this terrain is also a net that Su Yan specially prepared for them. The complex and intricate terrain made it impossible for these Huangquan pirate groups to discover the Valkyrie hidden in it for the first time. Seeing these Valkyrie heavy fire ships soaring into the air, the skeletons were instantly furious. "What's the situation? Didn't you say that this guy doesn't have a frigate at all?" For a time, the skeleton man felt as if he had been deceived. "The information I received, as mentioned above, this S-class ship does not have any frigate establishment. If there is no frigate organization, what is the matter with these 10 ships? Moreover, these 10 ships are actually B-class ships, and they are all firepower ships." This time, the skeleton man suddenly understood. "I've been fooled." In the communication panel, Su Yan crossed his fingers and a faint smile appeared on his face. "It's time to end." As soon as these words came out, the communication interface was directly hung up. In the next second, 10 B-class Valkyrie fireboats aimed at the 20 E-class firepower ships. Fire! For a time, the 8-door episode number rockets on both sides of the Valkyrie exploded directly. The sky-filled rockets landed directly on those fire ships. Immediately afterwards, the rocket exploded, and the endless fire directly devoured all the fire ships. The debris erupted from the rocket even affected the surrounding fire ships. A huge cloud of flames covered the entire Blackstone sky. Su Yan sat in the Hyperion, admiring the deadly and gorgeous fire clouds. At this moment, the first fire ship slowly fell from the fire cloud. Then, the second, the third, the fourth, boom. An artillery sound came from the fire cloud, and an artillery shot penetrated the fire cloud and hit the Valkyrie directly. With the fire rushing up, the flame directly covered the entire Valkyrie's body. But when the flames dissipated, the dying cannon didn't even penetrate the Valkyrie's armor. The second round of episodes rocket broke out. Rumbling. In the sky, a large number of fire ships fell. The skeleton man sitting in the flagship of the Yellow Spring stood up directly, and the fire of the soul exploded all over his body. Damn. 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 What are you bastards still doing? Attack. Do you have to watch all my fleets be beaten before you open fire? The skeleton man was furious, so much effort. He has already lost half of his ships, that's what you've worked hard for all your life. Damn it. That human monkey, I must make him pay. Rumbling. The huge hull of the Huangquan began to move. And Su Yan glanced at the Huangquan, opened the command panel, and it was time to start the final battle. Warning, ship is being locked. The Hyperion ship warning pops up. Su Yan watched as the giant artillery below the Huangquan on the opposite side burst into flames. As long as he is not blind, normal people can understand that the Huangquan is planning to blow up Su Yan's Hyperion first. The fall of the flagship is a huge blow to the morale of the entire fleet. But obviously, Su Yan also thought of this. Pulling open the control panel, Su Yan started to activate the space transition system. Boom! With a loud bang, the giant artillery of the Huangquan roared. In the battlefield, the deafening sound of artillery sounded instantly. I saw a blue laser attacking the Hyperion directly. The skeleton man was overjoyed when he saw that the blue laser was about to hit the Hyperion. Huangquan's plasma artillery has the powerful power to penetrate the armor of S-class ships. At such a close distance, hit the opponent directly. Now, what if it's an S-class ship? If you shoot it down, you will still be turned into scrap metal. When thinking of this, the fire of the soul on the skeleton man swayed for a while. But at this moment, under the watchful eyes of the public, the Hyperion disappeared directly in place. Seeing this scene, the skeleton man was stunned. Not only it, but even the interstellar pirates on the Huangquan were stunned. What's the situation? Why did the opposite ship disappear out of thin air? Such a huge ship body disappeared in their eyes in an instant. Even on radar, its existence cannot be observed. At this moment, the skeleton man panicked. What method did that human use? How could such a huge fleet suddenly disappear? But the next second, the Hyperion's reaction appeared on the radar again. Boss! That ship has appeared again. What? Where is it now? The skeleton man asked quickly, but when he learned the location of the Hyperion, he couldn't help but feel tight. Now, that ship, just behind us. As soon as these words came out, all the interstellar pirates felt chills behind their backs, because they know exactly what it means when an enemy flagship appears behind you during combat. Su Yan sat in the Hyperion, the corners of his mouth raised slightly. The Yamato cannon in front of the Hyperion is also ready to go at this moment. Yamato cannon. Emission. Boom. A huge beam of light directly bombarded the armor of Huangquan. Almost instantly, Huangquan's armor was directly penetrated. The terrifying energy directly penetrated the body of Huangquan, and the violent energy raged directly on the whole body of the ship. Rumbling, a lot of flames spewed out from the body of Huangquan. Under the flames, the Huangquan began to slowly fall towards the ground. At this time, the Valkyrie also dealt with other ships one after another. Under the attack of 10 B-class firepower ships, these ordinary ships had no power to fight back. Even if they formed a counterattack, facing the Valkyrie's heavy armor, their attack was like a ticklish, weak. Next, it's time for Su Yan's favorite scavenger hunt. The Hyperion slowly landed next to the Yellow Spring. To be on the safe side, Su Yan asked several predators and pilots to search and rescue the survivors in the Huangquan. Not long after, the remaining surviving interstellar pirates were also rescued from the fire by the predator. Those interstellar pirates thought they were saved, But they did not know that what awaited them was a purgatory that was even worse than death. The rest, I took it to the laboratory and changed it for the mechanical priest. After hearing these words, the mechanical priest, who had been waiting for a long time beside Su Yan, was also very excited. At this time, Baiying also got off the ship and stood silently in front of Su Yan. After seeing Baiying appear, Su Yan also looked at the Huangquan not far away. Among the yellow springs, the last survivor emerged from a pile of rubble. Su Yan's eyes narrowed slightly, and sure enough, the captain of the other party was not dead. Even some interstellar pirates survived. If he didn't, Su Yan would be the first to not believe it. If you die, you need to see the corpse. Su Yan will not give up any chance to make up for the knife until he sees the corpse of the opposing captain. Looks like you lost. In terms of words, Su Yan naturally mercilessly stabbed the skeleton man in the heart. The fire of the soul on the skeleton man is dying like a candle in the wind at this moment. But at this moment, the fire of the soul on the skeleton man suddenly increased. The skeleton man let out a roar, "Even if you die, I will drag you to bury you." The skeleton man, who lost everything, also directly used the spiritual energy in his body. Even if he dies, he will be buried with this hateful guy in front of him. Moreover, he is confident that his death-defying counterattack will definitely succeed. Unless the opponent is also a psionicist, it is absolutely impossible to block his psionic attack. The terrifying soul fire turned into a cannonball and hit Su Yan directly. But at this moment, this massive soul fire was suspended in the air. Baiying next to Su Yan raised a finger and suspended the flame in the air with just a trace of psychic energy. Seeing this scene, the skeleton man was stunned. Psyker? Su Yan looked at the throbbing flames, secretly thankful that she had brought Baiying over in advance. Otherwise, just based on his current identity, he really might not be able to block this attack. It seems that he needs to find a way to become a psionicist as soon as possible. After entering the inner sea, the frequency of seeing psionicists will definitely increase greatly. If there is no psionic power, after seeing this kind of psionicist, it is really difficult to defend without Baiying. In the next second, Baiying clenched one hand tightly. The skeleton man suddenly felt a powerful thought force coming from his surroundings. Snapped. Before the skeleton man could react, the powerful thought force directly crushed it into powder. The skeleton man probably never thought that there was such a powerful psionicist besides Su Yan. After solving the skeleton man, Su Yan also ordered other soldiers to search for the remaining resources in the Huangquan. Just then, a roar came from the sky. Su Yan frowned slightly and couldn't help but look up at the sky. I saw that in the atmosphere, an extremely large fleet was slowly descending. After seeing this fleet, Su Yan couldn't help frowning slightly. With such a huge fleet, Su Yan can judge the identity of this fleet just from the number of fleets. The inner sea heavenly king level forces, the crazy shark pirates. Su Yan couldn't help but feel nervous. If these guys are here to take advantage of the fishermen, they can only give up these resources. The current self is absolutely impossible to win against the heavenly king level forces in inner Shanghai. Don't worry, these guys are here for me. Hearing this voice, Su Yan also turned to look behind him. When his eyes fell on the hatchway of the Hyperion, I saw a blue-haired woman in a blue combat uniform standing there. However, when Su Yan saw her fangs like shark teeth, she understood. The guy in front of him is not a human race, and her skin is fairer than humans. Su Yan did not act rashly, because he felt that there was a faint psychic fluctuation in the woman who appeared suddenly. The other party is also a psionicist. Su Yan looked at the blue-haired woman in front of her, and the blue-haired woman also walked to Su Yan. Seeing the blue-haired girl approaching, Baiying's whole body also set off a wave of spiritual energy. After feeling Baiying's psychic power, the blue-haired woman stopped. Afterwards, the blue-haired woman stood in front of Su Yan with a smile. Don't worry, I have no ill will towards you. If I want to solve you, the ships above your heads are enough to bombard you hundreds of times. As soon as these words came out, it also indirectly explained the identity of this blue-haired woman. The blue-haired woman smiled and then looked at Su Yan. Introduce myself, I am the boss of the crazy shark pirates, Hyles, from the mermaid clan. The boss of the shark pirates, Harry's of the mermaid clan. After Su Yan kept the name silently in his heart, he also asked the question he cared about the most. Why are you on my ship? She had apparently disembarked from the Hyperion. Su Yan has strengthened the internal security capabilities of the Hyperion after Lin Qingyue's smuggling incident. Even if someone sneaks into the Hyperion, the predators and pilots patrolling back and forth will make them invisible. But Haley's clearly came out of the Hyperion. This shows that she doesn't know when she boarded her ship? Thinking of this, Su Yan also frowned. If she had done it to herself on the ship at the time, she probably wouldn't be standing here now. And Hyles also smiled faintly when she saw Su Yan, who frowned slightly. We mermaids can switch back and forth between sea creatures and human forms. Remember the little blue fish you caught earlier? After such a reminder, Su Yan suddenly remembered. Lin Qingyue said before that she caught a strange thing. That thing is a little blue fish. How is this possible? How can such a small fish become an adult-sized creature? This unscientific. And Haley seemed to see Su Yan's confusion. She said very calmly, psionic power is such a power, it will break all the rules you know. If the psionicist beside you was there at that time, I might not have the chance to enter your ship. I have to say, the drinks on your ship are good, and I'm very satisfied. Saying that, Hyles also pulled out a wine glass like a conjuration. Su Yan looked at Bai Ying and then at Hyles. At this moment, he was even more determined to activate the spiritual energy in his heart. Otherwise, if I encounter a psionicist in the future, I guess I don't know how to die. At this time, the flagship of the crazy shark pirates Wrath of the Seas also landed not far away. Hyles waved her hand. I originally planned to bring you under my command. But after seeing the battle between you and the Huangquan pirates, I don't think your achievements will be lower than mine in the future. Afterwards, Haley's threw a star compass at Su Yan. So, before I leave, let me tell you something, the legendary ship, Fearless Victory, is about to reappear. The coordinates where it appears are in this Shanghai compass. Whether you want to get involved is entirely up to you. This news is my reward for inviting me to drink. After all, Hyles also waved her hand and returned to the Furious Sea. Watching the Wrath of the Furious Sea gradually lift off, Su Yan also looked at the Shanghai compass in his hand. Dreadnought Victory? I have heard of this legendary ship. Rumor has it that he is the flagship of a certain planet lord, a genuine S-class ship. But for some reason, it disappeared in a galaxy in the outer sea. Now that it has resurfaced, it is no wonder that these interstellar pirates are beginning to gather in the Storm Galaxy. It turned out to be for this legendary ship. Su Yan opened the Shanghai compass, and the coordinates displayed on it were not far from him. Coincidentally, this coordinate is right between the Gold and Storm Galaxies. At that time, there will definitely be many forces from the Golden Galaxy to compete. Su Yan secretly thought to himself, just go and visit when the time comes. The shark pirates are all eyeing the Fearless Victory ship, indicating that other forces will definitely go to compete for it. His wings are not yet full, so it's better not to get involved too deeply. Once involved in the huge vortex, if the strength is not enough, it can only end in a shattered end. Then, Su Yan looked at Bai Ying. Bai Ying, how can I become a psionicist? Bai Ying glanced at Su Yan and answered truthfully. There are 3 ways to become a psionicist. The first way is to have the bloodline of some psionic races. After having the bloodline of a certain psionic race, you can freely use psionic energy. Just like Bai Ying and Hyles, both of their races are races that can skillfully use psionic energy. Therefore, they can use psionic power from birth. The second way is to obtain psionic power by trading with some creatures in the subspace and paying some price. The skeletons of the Huangquan pirate fleet are such psionicists. He lost his physical body, but at the same time he gained psychic power. But these 2 methods are useless to Su Yan. There is only a third way, and that is to obtain a psionic seed. The psionic energy seed can be fused with the physical body and become the energy core of psionic energy, as long as one has a psionic energy seed. Su Yan can become a psionicist and use psionic power freely, but psionic seeds are extremely rare, even the lowest level F-level psionic seeds. It can be sold for hundreds of millions of stars on the black market. Either way is very difficult, Su Yan also sighed. It seems that this can only happen naturally. The most urgent task is to sell the ships of the Huangquan pirate fleet and other pirate ships and exchange them for star coins. Otherwise, throw it here, and it will eventually become a pile of scrap metal. Waste is not Su Yan's personality. Gold Galaxy, Financial Star, Gimhe Chamber of Commerce. The chairman of the Chamber of Commerce, who had been sleepy at first, Jin Ron, lost all sleep after receiving a phone call. What? Someone selling ships? How much? Nearly 30 ships? In the storm system? What the hell are you talking about? Even in the warp you have to get your stuff back. After hanging up the phone, Ron Kim rubbed his hands excitedly. Get rich. Someone just called and said that they would sell 30 ships to them. There is actually an A-class ship among them. An A-class ship. In the open sea area, A-class ships are basically the top configuration. No financial resources, no means, want to get an A-class ship? There are no doors. As for Kim Ron, did he ever suspect that someone was deliberately fixing them? What are you kidding? Behind their Jinhai Chamber of Commerce is the Jin clan. Anyone who dares to target them, the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce, must be careful not to provoke the Jin clan. In this golden galaxy, there is a total of 1 star and 5 planets. And it is such a galaxy, but it has become the largest trading galaxy in the entire outer sea. In the golden galaxy, there are all kinds of gold diggers, and there are also hundreds of millions of chambers of commerce. In the outer sea area, as long as there is money, there is nothing that cannot be bought in the golden galaxy. The Golden Galaxy holds the huge assets of hundreds of millions of galaxies in the outer sea, and behind all this, it is related to the Jin clan, the family of Financial Star. The ancestors of the Jin clan have been operating in the Golden Galaxy for thousands of years, making the Golden Galaxy a trading center in the open sea. Up to now, although the Jin clan is only a family, the wealth in its hands is enough to subvert a Star Sea empire. Any item, as long as you put a price on it, the Jin clan can buy it. Rumor has it that there is currently an S-class ship in the Jin clan's territory. However, the Jin clan has not been attacked for a long time, even if someone can't think of it and wants to attack the Golden Galaxy. As long as the Jin clan waved a big hand, a large number of mercenaries swarmed. Even if there are ships in the Jin clan's territory, it is estimated that they are used as exhibits. Su Yan took into account the strength of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce and chose to call the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce and ask them to recover the ships under his command. If it was another Chamber of Commerce, it was estimated that they were robbed by the interstellar pirate fleet on the way. He glanced at Lin Qingyue, who was playing arcade next to him with a serious face. Su Yan couldn't help but sigh that this girl was still a senior VIP member of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce. How many star coins did she spend at the Jinhai Chamber of Commerce, and she would get the status of a senior VIP member. Senior VIP members have their own personal customer service. As long as you make an interstellar call, Jinhai Chamber of Commerce will definitely have a service staff to answer your call. Even if you buy something. Even if you're on a planet where birds don't shit, and you're in full swing with the Zerg. The Gimhe Chamber of Commerce will be airdropped directly in front of you. This service can be said to be omnipresent, but relatively, the status of this senior VIP member is not so easy to obtain. Moreover, according to Lin Qingyue, a little rich woman, among the senior VIP members, there are also Supreme VIP members. This Supreme VIP member can not only see the Jin clan, but if you are in danger, the mercenaries under the Jin clan will quickly drop by your side. Su Yan couldn't help but sigh, the power of capital is really terrifying. Near the storm galaxy Blackrock. Along with a flash, a huge giant A-class cargo ship appeared. When this giant A-class cargo ship appeared in the outer space of Blackstone, even standing on the surface of Blackstone could clearly see this behemoth. The black and thick shell, the huge body can accommodate a whole fleet, and hundreds of ships enter it. Su-Yen couldn't help but sigh that her Hyperion was insignificant compared to this giant cargo ship. The A-class cargo ship in front of me was dispatched by the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce and was responsible for receiving the large transport cargo ships of the ships. Although this cargo ship is huge, its huge stature has been exchanged for an extremely slow speed and extremely weak armor. In the eyes of interstellar pirates, these large cargo ships are equivalent to a moving target. But around the large cargo ship, powerful frigates are patrolling. The person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce sits on the bridge of a large cargo ship. He said very confidently, "Oh, show the communication signal of our Gimhe Chamber of Commerce. I want to see which interstellar pirate without long eyes dares to come over." But the next second, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce saw the crazy shark pirates not far away. Suddenly, he was so frightened that he slumped on the ground. Crazy shark pirates? How could such a heavenly king-level force in the inner sea appear here? The Gimhe Chamber of Commerce fleet, which was still in high spirits, suddenly went out. Those were the heavenly king-level forces in the inner sea, even if the crazy shark pirates robbed them. The Jin clan will not choose to continue to pursue it. Just kidding, no matter how powerful the Jin clan is, it is limited to the outer seas. But the crazy shark pirates are one of the best forces in the inner sea. At this time, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also immediately contacted the crazy shark pirates. At this time, taking the initiative to show goodwill will quell the anger of the crazy shark pirates. If they can pay some protection fees and leave, it is undoubtedly cost-effective for them. After all, no matter how important money is, it is not as important as their lives. After connecting to the communication, the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce also rubbed his hands. "My lords, we didn't know this was the territory of the crazy shark pirates. We'll leave right away. Please raise your hands high. Our Gimhe Chamber of Commerce is willing to pay 100 million star coins as compensation for disturbing you. Our fleet is also here to transport goods. There is nothing on this ship. If you guys go home empty-handed, won't you lose your interest?" Looking at the humble attitude of the person in charge of the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce, Hailey sat on the main seat of the bridge and looked at the communication panel with interest. Cargo? It seems that Su-Yen is planning to sell the ship of the Huangquan pirates. This kid is really diligent and thrifty. These ships are worth a lot of money. Having said that, Hailey's also waved her hand. "I'm happy today. I don't have the intention to rob for the time being. Let them go. By the way, tell the guys from the Gimhe Chamber of Commerce, Su-Yen, I'll cover it. If they dare to lower the price at will, I have specified that they will not be able to get out of the Storm Galaxy." As for Su-Yen, Hailey's is also very fond of him. She was sure that they would meet again in the inner sea in the future. Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.